Hey guys, this is Namushek and today I'm going to discuss how to create this nice looking application using Angularjs, Ionic, Ajax, PHP and MySQL. Here you can see I have a big giant banner for my application with 3 tabs. One is for adding a post, another is to view that post, and the third one is to see the records that is fetched using a restful web service API. Okay, first here you can see there is a text box over here. If I enter a value like France, okay, suppose right now we don't have any value, and if I try to add post, it will display please enter your post, and then I'll just type in France, and when I click on add post, then we will get post added successfully, and we can view that post here. Okay, this is France is the post that I have just added, and the third one is here. I have a data.js file with me on my desktop. I'm calling the data.json file using a RESTful web service API. All this entire application is being built using Angularjs framework, Ionic Framework, Ajax, PHP and MySQL. Okay, let me first tell you what are all those topics that we will be going to discuss or we will be going to learn with this application. Okay, here you can see in this video tutorial we'll be going to learn how to integrate Angularjs, Ionic, PHP, Ajax and MySQL all together to create an application, and then understanding Angularjs framework, understanding Ionic framework, understanding Ajax technology to insert a record into MySQL database, and designing tab system UI using Ionic framework, integrating Angularjs with MySQL server, integrating a RESTful web service API using PHP with Angularjs, fetching data from the database using Angularjs, and then searching a record using Angularjs. Okay, here we can search a record also. See, if I type W, I get all the records that starts with W. See, Western. Okay, see, and this kind of search functionality also we can implement to our application. So since this is an Angularjs application, so first we need to understand what is Angularjs. Angularjs is a JavaScript library that allows us to create a single pages application, a single one-page application which works with MVC framework, that is model, view and controller, and we are using an Ionic framework. Ionic framework is a CSS and HTML framework that is used to design our web pages to develop mobile applications and other web applications also. And then there is we have used Ajax Technologies to save a data, to add data into our database. So Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML that allows us to refresh parts of our web page without refreshing the entire page. And then we are using PHP and MySQL to interact with our server, all our web services, and database interaction code we will be writing in with PHP. Okay, so now you understood the application. Now you see the application that we will be going to create in this video tutorial, and yeah, that's all. We just have to start to work with our project. Okay, so to start with our project, first we need to download an Ionic framework from the net. Okay, to download Ionic framework you need to go to your browser, type in Ionic framework, and then you will get this link, documentation. Click this documentation platform, and then click on overview, and then scroll down. You will get a link to download Ionic Framework. Once you click on this, you will get a rare file of Ionic Framework, which I have pasted out on my browser. Here you can see I have downloaded an Ionic Framework, and then I have extracted that folder. Once you extract this rare file, you will get this folder. When you open this, you will get 3 folders: CSS, fonts, and JS. And when you click on JS files, you will get all the necessary JS JavaScript files that is required for your application. You don't need to download separately in here for towards the Angularjs. Once you download Ionic Framework, you will get all the necessary JavaScript files that are related to your Angularjs. Here you can see Angular related JS files are also available inside this inside this Ionic Framework JS folder. So okay, since we are creating an application using AngularJS, so you have to download AngularJS JavaScript files also. But once you download Ionic Framework, all the AngularJS files also will be coming along with Ionic Framework JS files. Okay, so you don't have to individually download the AngularJS files. You will get all the AngularJS files with Ionic Framework. Okay, so once you download it, once you download this Ionic Framework, you need to create a project into your htdocs folder. Is here. Okay, see inside XAMPP, and then you will get inside XAMPP you have htdocs. Open that folder, and here you need to create a folder. I have already created a folder with a name called AngularJS Ionic. Once I click on this, see these many folders I have already created. You need to create a folder structure to create this application. I have created this API folder. You just have to click on this new folder icon and then give it a name. I have given a name as API to this first folder, where I will be placing my data.json file, a data.json API file, and then this one is CSS. You need to create an or you just have to copy these JS fonts and CSS files that you have downloaded with Ionic. Okay, I'll just close it. Okay, here I have my Ionic folder. If I open this, I will get CSS fonts and JS files. I have to copy all these 3 files, and I have to paste inside my project folder CSS. And then once I have already pasted out here CSS fonts and JS, see I have an Ionic file here and fonts file and then JS. Okay, I have taken only those JS files that are required to our application. See, you will get lots of JS files once you download Ionic Framework, but I have taken only those files that are required. I have copied only those files from this Ionic folder that are required to build our application. And CSS also, I have taken only Ionic in this Ionic CSS files, and fonts I have taken all these files and I have pasted inside my project folder here. Okay. See, for JS we need only Angular UI router, Ionic bundle.js, jQuery.min.js. Okay, this file you need to download separately from the net. jQuery.min.js, you can download it from the net. You can easily get this file from the internet. Okay, so you have to place all these files inside your Angular JS folder. Inside you have a JS folder, and you need to paste all these files here. And then CSS file also, we have to copy the CSS file from our Ionic bundle, and then we need to paste it here in our project folder. And fonts also, and then image, I don't have any image right now in this folder. See, and then templates. Okay, we need to create another folder with the name called templates. inside this template we will be creating all our templates, which are these templates. Okay, let me show you. These are the separate templates. Whenever I click on this link, I get this complete template, and whenever I click on this link, I get a separate template, and whenever I click on this search tab, I get a different template. All these templates, 3 templates we need to create inside this templates folder, and this we have to create another folder with a name called web services, where we will be creating our PHP files to interact with our server and to interact with our database. Okay, so once you create all this folder structure inside your project folder, then come to your reader. Here I have opened my project. To open your project, just click on file and then click on open folder, and then choose whichever folder you want. I have already opened a folder with the name, I have already opened a project with the name of Angularjs and Ionic. And once you open the folder, your project folder, you will get all your folders that you have created inside your main project inside htdocs. Okay, so once you created the folder structure, you need to create an index.html file, which is the home page of our file. So in order to create this index.html file, you just have to right click on your main folder, and then you have to click on new file, and then type in html and type in this code ngf, type in ngf directory equals to app. This is the app which we will be creating in using AngularJS. You will have to declare ngf equals to app, then only you are telling to the browser consider this file as an AngularJS file, and then title as AngularJS Ajax Ionic code application, and then link all your CSS and JS files. So we have ionic.css file, so I have linked that file here, and I have 3 JS files. First one is ionic bundle.js, which is this, and then second one is jquery.min.js, which is this. Okay, then angular UI router.js. Okay, so once you link all your CSS and JS files, then you need to create a div inside your body, and then there is a tag with header. You need to use ng-include directive, because we are calling header.html file here. We are calling an external HTML file which is with the name of header.html, which is inside our templates folder. Okay, inside our templates folder I have created an header.html file, so ng-include. So in order to call this header.html file, since this is an external file, so that's why we are including ng-include directive, and then double quote and then single quote. Okay, you have to follow this syntax. First should be double quote and then single quote, templates / header.html. Okay, then close the header tag, and then start one more div where you have to type in the directive UI view. With this UI view only we will be displaying all this data which you can see inside each tab is displaying with the help of this UI view. Okay, so this is very important. You have to include this UI view to your index.html file. Okay, so once you create the index.html file, then come to browser. Slash then a project name AngularJS Ionic. Okay, so right now we can't see anything because we have not designed our pages with CSS. See, we don't have anything in our header.html file. We need to type in the code to display this header. Okay, this header, whatever you are seeing here, this style and the style of this button and all the designs here, you can see the search text, search text box functionality, and all this list view, and here also whatever list you can saw here is coming from Ionic Framework. Okay? All this design is coming from Ionic Framework, what we have downloaded. So Ionic Framework comes up with their own style, you can say style components, style CSS and HTML components. As I said earlier, Ionic Framework allows us to, actually Ionic Framework is a CSS and HTML framework that allows us to design our web pages quickly in faster pace. Okay, so whenever you go to Ionic Framework, then whenever you go to your browser, type in Ionic Framework, then click on documentation, then click on documentation, and then in documentation you will get a link as CSS components. Click on this CSS components, you will get different CSS components for your project. Here you can see code for bar light and code for bar stable. You can get the code and style elements for different type of style, different type of bars. Okay. Here you can see the output also. You can see the output of this code here on this mobile phone. See, you can create these kind of buttons using this code. And you can create this type of tabs using this button bar. Okay, I have used this code, button bar code, to create this tab. Okay. So here lot of design elements are there, whichever you feel comfortable, whichever design theme or real design requirements see are suitable with you, you can choose here and you can use it in your application. Okay, so this is all about Ionic Framework, and here what we have to do is we need to start typing in for our header. Okay, we have to create a div with a class of button bar and bar com. Then we'll be giving a style as inline, background color, DC7. Okay. And then a tag, a UI sref. Okay. UI sref is used to link to our external files. In general, using HTML, whenever we write HTML code, we use href to link to our external files, but here in Angularjs we need to use UI sref to link to our external files. Class button selected. Also icon and plus. Okay, now one link is over. Now just copy this and paste a couple of times and change it to add post and then view posts, search posts. Okay, because we need 3 links as I have designed here. One is for add post, second one is to view post, and third one is for search a post. Okay, here icon ion card, and then here for search. Okay, now save it. Okay, and now come to our browser and refresh. Okay, right click on page and then go to inspect. Okay, here we are getting an error saying that got error, failed to instantiate module app due to error, module app is not available. Okay, we need to create a module with a name app. Here script to Angular module and here this one is for passing the dependencies. We are using Ionic Ionic as one of the dependency injection, and another one is UI router. We are using it as another dependency injection. We need to pass those dependency injection inside this. Ionic and then UI router. Okay, and here our app name. Okay, this app name and this app name should be same. So now let's refresh. Okay, now I'm not getting that error. Here you can see I'm getting my header displaying at the top of my web page. I just need to style it a bit more. Okay, here png init equals to selected equals to 1, and here click selected, equals to 1, ng class equals to 2, ng class is active, selected, equals to 1. Okay, and here for this one also we need to set all these settings. ID electric parts, and then copy this entire code and paste it here. So that I selected equals to 2. Okay. And then come for the last link, class button tab, this one, just cut it out from here and then paste it here, and then just remove this, and then copy this entire code again, copy and paste it here, 3 with 3. Okay, now let's just save it, refresh. Okay, we are getting some errors because we haven't created our files or templates with the name add post, view post and search post. So we will be creating those now. So just right click on this template and then click on new file, save it with the name of add posts.html, then right click again, new file, save it, view posts.html, and then right click on file, folder, templates, then click on new file, save it, search posts.html. Okay, and now we have, I'll just write it down here, search posts, save it, just copy, paste it here, change it as view posts, save, paste it here, make it as add posts. Okay, now we have created all our templates. We need to call these templates whenever I click on this link. Okay, let's check our page here. Okay, whenever I click on this, okay, I'm getting an error because I have not called those templates which I have created just now. So let's, okay, open the, save it. Okay. Okay, button bar, the code for button bar is button dash bar. Okay, that's what I was missing here. Now just go to our browser, not this one. Okay, now it's displaying properly, and we need to go to our index file, and here we need to type in the code to here we need to type the AngularJS code to call this separate templates. So we have to start, we need to use our module, which is app.config. Function $URL router provider URL router provider comma $state provider. Okay, we can access to this URL router provider and state provider once we use this Angular UI router.js in our file in our HTML index.html file. Okay, so okay. We will start here in the function, and then okay, the $URL router provider dot otherwise state provider dot state comma whenever the state is slash after the root directory, which is this is our root directory, and whenever the state is / after the root directory, then we should use the URL. We'll set the URL to / comma, and then template URL. We will be calling the template inside our templates folder / add posts dot html. Okay, then we have to send our control to the controller. Controller. Okay, so whenever, let me just complete this code for rest of my two tabs. Then state, I just have to copy the same code, copy this and paste it here, and I will have to change view posts. Copy this, paste it here, search posts, copy and paste it here. Okay, so here and then here, add posts, and here view posts, copy this once more for search posts, copy this, paste it here, change it to add posts, this one is view posts, and then last is search posts. Okay, this is our routing configuration. Here I'm writing the code to tell what happens, how we should route between our tabs. Okay, which template should gets called whenever I click on this, which template gets called whenever I click on this link, and which template gets called whenever I click on this tab. Okay, this is search tab. So this functionality routing, this functionality is called as routing actually. Okay, so to achieve this kind of routing functionality, we need to use a JS library and JS file Angular UI router.js. Okay, so here and we have to use URL router provider and state provider, and here we are setting URL route provider dot otherwise. If we don't have anything, if I click on this, whenever I select it and whenever I refresh, okay, I should get redirected to / okay. That means I should get this. So before refreshing the page, the URL was only this much. So whenever I refresh, I get a / after hash, indicating that whenever we don't have anything after this root directory, whenever we don't have anything, any title like add post, for example, if we don't have this, then I should redirect it to this / okay. Otherwise / and then use state provider. We are setting some validation tools, or we are setting some guidelines to set forward state, that is what happens, which template should get called whenever we put this / at the end of our root directory. So whenever we set a / after the root directory, then add posts.html template gets called. Here you can see this one is add post.html template. So whenever I place / add post template gets called here, and here this code, whenever I type in / add posts, whenever I click on this, see / add posts, whenever the URL changes to / add posts, then I'll be calling this add post.html. That's why we are getting add posts title to be displayed on the page. Okay, whenever I click on this, okay, here it's not showing the result because I am having some error, because I haven't declared any controllers, so just have to delete these controllers for just time being. Save it, refresh. Okay. Posts from add post could not resolve. Okay. / template URL templates / add post.html. okay, this one is fine. The state change to add post, and the state change to add posts. Then URL should be / add post, and template URL should be template / add post.html, and then when the state change to view posts, copy this, into here view posts, and template should be view posts.html template slash view posts.html, and then the state change to search post / search posts. Then URL should be / search posts template URL template slash search posts.html. Okay. Just come here. Whenever I click on this, I'm getting an error. State forward slash. Same error. Refresh. Okay, add posts. Click on this. Okay, view posts. Okay, search post. Okay, I'm here right now. I'm not getting an error. The error was coming with the / okay. So because the default we are setting as / otherwise as /, so we should not have add / here or here. Okay, that's why we are getting an error. So whenever I click on this, I am calling add posts template. So whenever I clicking on this, I am calling view post template, and whenever I clicking on this, I am calling search post templates. Okay, so this is called routing, guys. Here this is how we can use a routing functionality of Angularjs to route between different templates. Okay, so here further we have to add the controllers to achieve the functionality of this. Okay, here now if I want to add a post, this functionality, adding post functionality and fetching these rows from the database and calling this restful web service API functionality has to be written inside our controller. We have to create our controllers now, and controller add post ctrl. Here same controller here also. Just here view, and then just here change it to search post controller. Okay, now we have to create these controllers here using our app module. Okay, now if I try to access to our page, I should get an error. See, right click and click on inspect. Same two errors. Click on console. See, unexpected okay, failed instantiate module app due to. Okay, these errors are coming because we have declared our controllers here, but we have created those controllers. So just we have to create those controller using our app module app.controller. Then we need to add our put our controller name and this post controller. Okay. Here we need to pass scope inside this. Okay. So let's just do this. Copy this once again and paste it here for our view post controller. Then copy, paste it here for search post controller. Now save it, Control S, then C. Okay. Module, it is not available. Okay. To 3. Okay. Comma was missing. Okay, now I'm getting it. Okay, so whenever I click on this, I'm not getting an error right now, because that error was coming because I had missed one comma here. So I have created our header functionality, and now I have to display that banner image. I am displaying here this banner image and then text box and button. So we will just create that in our add post template. So from here, create a div with a class of image, ing images slash. I have an image with the name of banner.jpg on my desktop. Then alt class equals to full image. Then one more div with the class of list. It's 5. Post here. Then create a form with ID form. And label class item of item input, and use a text area ID, advertise and placeholder maximum of 150 class and some maximum length of 150. Okay, and then we need to use ng model directive for binding. Ng model first advertise. Okay, and then we should use a span to display the response from the server. ID post response, and then we should use an input button with type button ID as submit. Okay. Class button of block. This entire class is coming from Ionic Framework. Button positive value equals to add post. Okay. Let's check our output, refresh. Okay. banner.jpg. Okay, so here I have banner.jpg file. I just copy this and place it in my project folder where I had created an images folder, and then I'll just place it here. Okay. Save it. Okay, you can see the design is completed for our add post. Here we should set some padding for this. Some styling. Padding left of 10 pixels. Okay, so in our front page design is completed. Now we just have to write down the functionality to add this post. Whenever user click on this add post button. Okay, so let's just go to our editor inside our index.html, and here we need to set the functionality to save the data to our server, to our database. So but before that we have to create one database, and we need to create a table to store the information. So we just have to go to the browser and assembler.php myadmin. Click on database and type create a database name as Angularjs Ionic create. Okay, here you can see a database has been created, and then create a table as Angular with two fields. One is ID and another is post. Then go ID post integer, and this one is varchar 1 50 100. Okay, make it as primary key and set auto implemented, and click on save. Okay, we have created our database and we have created a table inside the database. Now we have to come back to our editor, and we have to we should start typing in our code to save the data in our database. We should use the ID, our post button ID. We should show here this ID we should use. Okay, let me just show you. So whenever user click on this button, we should save the data to our database. That's why we are using this button ID. Our button ID is submit. So here we have used submit dot click. We are using click event function. Okay, equals to $scope. We should use scope variable dot advertise. Okay, we are taking the value that is being stored by the user here. Whenever a user enter any value inside this text box, inside this text area, that value we are targeting, we are storing that we are targeting with the variable scope, and we are storing that variable inside this variable advertise. Okay, so this is the advertise ID that we have given it to here. Okay, with the help of this advertise ID, we are fetching the data that is been entered inside the text area field, and we are storing that inside our advertise field. Okay, should change this to dollar advertise dot value. Okay, advertise equals to dollar code dot advertise. Okay, here we will set the data string to send the data to the server. Advertise equals to plus advertise. Okay, this data string we are sending to our sending with our Ajax request, and we will have to check for emptiness of data, else if this advertise, we can make it as advertisement. Okay, copy if advertisement empty, and then I should display a response message to the user using HTML property. Please enter your post. Response. Okay, we are using this response ID to display the response that is coming from the server. Then let's check. Copy this. Insert Ajax block. Just refresh. Okay, click on this. Suppose if I try to click on this add post without entering any text, so I should get please enter your post. Okay, so that's I'm getting, and if I enter any data and when I try to click on this, I'm getting inside Ajax post. Okay, so I have to remove this. Let's start to call our Ajax. Post, and then URL should type the URL as http:// 27.1/ our project name, which is Angularjs Ionic /webservice/ add post .php. Okay, we need to create add post.php inside our web service folder to save the data to the database. Comma, and then we need to pass our data string, and then false, success message function result. Okay. If the data gets saved successfully, then I'll be displaying the response to the user with the ID response.html. Post saved successfully. Okay, or I'll be getting the data from the server using result, and that data will be displayed to the user, and then I'll be emptying, removing the text from the text area. Replacement plus 2. Copy this, paste it here, and put it set to null. Then return false. Okay, now save it, and now we need to create this add post.php file inside our web services folder. So right click on this web services folder and click on new file, save it as add post.php. Okay, we need to create one more file with the name of config. This to our database configuration settings. Configure PHP. Okay. PHP. You have to define some constants. Base path http just copy this, copy and paste it here, and then define one more constant db paste 27 1, okay, and then copy this and paste it here, db, change it to db, name or database name is Angularjs Ionic. You have to type in your database name. Our database name is Angularjs Ionic. Okay, now paste it again, change it, database username or username is root, paste it again, db password. I haven't set any password to my database, so I'll just leave it blank. I'll just make a connection using a connection variable, then new MySQL database post, and then database username, and then database password, then database name. Okay. Insert a if condition, if MySQL connect error, MySQL connect error echo to connect the MySQL error. And then exit. Okay. Now we have set our database configuration file, and now we just have to write a query to add our data into our database. So now we just have to start typing on PHP, and we have to include our configuration file using include once config.php, and then URL is equals to $_post, replace then SQL equals to into or table name. Our table name is Angular, set into Angular post values. Let's just let's check once. Okay, here, okay, name is post values dollar address. Dollar connection of query post to SQL. Okay, we need to pass this SQL into our query, and then we need to send the response from here to our client. Post added successfully. Else failure. Okay, now okay, here we have completed our configuration file, and here we have completed our database interaction file. So whenever the user typing in any data, and whenever he clicks on this add post, the data gets sent it out here and stored inside this variable called advertisement, and then from here the data gets stored inside this data string variable, and this data string variable will be sent using an Ajax request to our file called add.php, which is this add post.php. Here I am getting whatever data is being posted from the form using the Ajax request that gets collected here inside this add post.php file and stored inside this advertise variable, and using this insert SQL query we are sending or saving the data to our database, and based on the response from the server whether the data gets saved. If the data gets saved into our database, we will be sending this message. If the data didn't get saved in our database, we will be sending this failure message. Okay, so now let's just check. Okay, when I click on this, okay, I'm getting an error. India, if I click on add post, okay, split. Responded with the status for not found. Add post.php. Okay, Angularjs Ionic web service slash. Okay, Angularjs Ionic web services. Okay, here web services, and here also web services. Okay, I'm getting an error. Call to undefined function MySQL connect error none. Okay. Configuration file MySQL. Okay. MySQL connect error. MySQL connect error. Here let's check for the internet. Okay, India. Okay, I'm getting a response from the server saying their post added successfully. So just we have to rectify, check in our table whether the data gets saved in our database or not. Okay, so here, okay, here you can see India, the data gets saved in our database. So if China, okay, post added successfully. Let's check. Okay, so all the records are saving in our database. So just now what we have to do is we have to display, we have to send a request to our database. Whenever, as soon as we click on this, we should get the data from the database and display it on the page on this view post templates. Okay, so let's do it now. So we have to create another file with a name of, save it, get my records.php. Here we need to include our configuration file by using include once php. Then we need to type in our SQL query to select the data from the database. Select id comma post from our table Angular order by id descending. Okay, and then dollar query equals to connection object of query SQL. Check for the number of rows whether they are greater than 0 or not. If query of num rows greater than 0, then we need to run a while loop till the end of the row. Row equals to dollar query of fetch array dollar id equals to dollar row id copy post. Okay, so we will be sending the response in the form of JSON result equals to array id id post JSON equals to array here the status is 0 and message is user ready not defined. then we need to close our MySQL connection. MySQL close. We need to send. We are sending our data in the form of JSON, so we need to set our content type. Application by JSON echo JSON. We are encoding the data in JSON and we are sending this JSON data. Okay. Sit here. Okay. So we have included our configuration file, our database connectivity file, and then we have written a select query to get the data from the database in the descending order, and then we set a query using connection object, and then we check whether we are having sufficient number of rows, whether we are getting whether the number of rows that are getting from the server are greater than 0 or not. If the rows are greater than 0, then we are iterating over those number of rows using the while loop, and then we are storing the data that is been returned from the server inside a variable array which is called as result, and we are sending that array in the form of JSON to our client. Okay, from the server to the client. Our PHP script is over. We need to go to our Angularjs. Here we need to type in the code Angularjs or JavaScript code to call this web service. Okay, so let's call that web service. Here, since we are calling a web service here, JSON web service, we need to, and web services are called using a protocol called as HTTP, and then HTTP dot okay. We need to pass that web service path. Just have to copy this and paste it here, and we need to change the name get my records for PHP. Okay, and then dot success function it has scope of items scoop. We are seeing the how to collect the response, and we need to set the response to our items variable. Okay, so as I said earlier, web services, we have created a web service with the name get my records using PHP, and we are sending the response in the form of JSON, and here inside index.html we are calling the web service using HTTP protocol. Since web services are called with the help of HTTP protocol, we have used HTTP.get method to call our web service. It is get my records. So if the data gets returned, if the server responds with the success, and then we will get the data or the response stored inside this variable, and then we will set or assign that response, the data to the scope.items variable. Okay. We have to go to our view post template, New post. Yeah. Okay, here we need to type in the code. Yes. Let's try. All posts. Okay. Then Ion content. Okay. Data class as sub header subheader. Okay, then Ion list. Item item towel one item of program ng repeat. We need to use ng repeat directive to iterate over the number of rows that is being sent from the server. Item in items dot info. Then we have to display the data using flower brackets. This is the Angular notation of displaying the data or outputting the data or printing the data on the web page. Item dot date post. I'll save it. I'll just check the output. Okay, all post. Right click and click on inspect. The post data is not coming from the server. Let's see whether we have any error or not. Okay, we don't have any error. Angularjs post query parser PHP. Import once configure PHP, select ID post from Angular order by ID and connection of query, scale query of numbers, query of num rows greater than 0, then while rows equals to query of fetch array. Okay, this one is correct. ID equals to dollar row of ID, and then post row of post result. Okay, everything is fine. Then JSON array status 0 message MySQL close configure. Let's check it once again. Okay. Copy this and paste it here. User ID not defined. Records if while status 1 and result info status if close else. Okay. Set the result inside this info variable. If else, okay, let's check. Okay, now I'm getting the data. Let's check it out here. Okay, we are also getting it, but we have just need to format it. View post style coding copy this and paste it here, save it, and then make this refresh our page. And okay, now let's add another Australia. Okay, posted it successfully. Now if I see, okay, Australia is displaying here. Okay, now we need to work with this search functionality. Here we need to create another web service, restful web service, by calling JSON data.json file. I have data.json file already here. I think I have taken it. Okay, I have not pasted it out in my APIs folder. Let's just go to our desktop, and here I have data.json file. Just copy this and I'll come to my project folder inside API. I will just paste it out. Okay, here also I have this JSON data. You can see I have a list of JSON data which I will be displaying whenever user click on this search. Okay, we need to create, we have already created this file. Delete this. Okay, div class list of insert, and then label class item input I class icon ion search place folder icon. Okay, then we need to create an input field, type text, place folder search ng model s2 query. Okay, use over and then just check. Okay, just close this one also. Okay, here this search, save it, refresh, and then okay, search is displaying. Ion content class s2 class set header list, then item repeat. Repeat. Before that we need to type in the code to call our external JS on API. Here that code is same, we just need to copy this and paste it out. We will just change to search post controller and then to change APIs / data.json. Okay. And then okay, this one is over. You need to go to search post. Here in ng repeat item in items, item dot name, save it. Okay, and just go to our page and then check. Okay, here you can see all the data is coming from our data.json file and displaying it on our application. Okay, see, store data. But right now we need to set our query filter. See, I'm typing in Western, I'm not able to get that record, so we just have to do that. We need to set on filter query. Filter of query field, it will take the value that is been entered inside this input box, and it will take that as an ng model, and it will take this value here, and it will filter it out based on the value that is been entered inside the text box. Okay, so here, refresh. Okay, let's come here. Just see, now I'm getting the record. Just see if I type in R. Okay, I type in R. What was that? Okay, let's say northern. See, northern Europe. Yeah, I am successfully able to filter the records. Okay, this is how we can create an application using Angularjs, Ajax, Ionic Framework, PHP and MySQL. Okay, so this tutorial is quite long, more than 1.5 hours. So, but we have covered lots and lots of functionality, lots and lots of useful functionalities of multiple technologies, as I said, Angularjs, Ionic Framework, Ajax, PHP and MySQL. So we have learned a lot of things out of this video. So I'll just suggest for you guys to watch all the to watch this video completely, so that you can get so that you can understand better, and you can use this functionality into your projects. Okay, so at the end I'll just type in more. So America, if I click on add post, I should get a message like post added successfully, and if I come here, and then I can see America. Okay, so it's displaying here. Okay, external JSON file I'm calling with the help of restful web services API, and here I have created web service, PHP web service API, and I have returned the data from the web service in the form of JSON, and then I just pass that JSON here. Okay, if you want to know more and more about JSON, I have uploaded some videos on JSON, how to parse JSON. I have uploaded it on YouTube. You can watch those tutorials also. So I'll just telling you guys again that watch this complete video tutorial, so that you can learn lots and lots of concepts that I have covered in this tutorial. So I hope you got some useful information out of this video. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, so that you can get latest updates of my upcoming video tutorials, and don't forget to click on that small icon, which is like button, that appears just below your video. And that's all, guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. See you soon.